Welcome to FCC Supporters Square. For fans, by fans, and about fans. Here are your hosts, Mark Shipman and Matt Warman.
Am I allowed to?
Welcome once again to FCC Supporters Square. I am your host, Matt Warman. Mark Suppin is on a secret mission with the Bailey. He was supposed to show up, but the mission ran long. I think he got caught behind enemy lines. I'm not exactly sure what's going on with him, but he will be back next week, and we miss him greatly. With me though is a guest, as I promised last week, DJ Reynolds. Say hi.
Hello. Thanks for having me, Matt. Appreciate it.
I'm very happy to have you. And you're going, well, Matt, what the hell is in your hand? What's in my hand is a guitar, because this coming up on Tuesday, which will be the next time we record, this will be past, is the 4th of July. And I figured I would serenade you with what I want to do. All right, enough fun. So if anybody doesn't know, I actually do this for a living. I used to anyway. So let's get to the real part, not that fun stuff. It is Happy 4th of July early. We like to record early so we can do things early. Happy 4th of July, DJ. Do you have any plans before we get into anything?
Oh, I don't know. I think this will be the first year I'll probably take it easy on the 4th of July. I've got all of next week off, but I'm going to use it as some relaxation time instead of too much going on. I think I'll just chill.
That is a very good idea. I wish I could do that, but
beers and hot dogs. I'll manage to get beers and hot dogs.
There you go. I don't even know if I'm going to do that even on Tuesday, because that's probably my only time to relax. Anyhow, last week Mark Suffin said, "Hey, 3-0." I said, "That's a great score line," except for he had the teams reversed. I turned it on, and I could tell within the first 5 minutes what was going to happen before it happened. I was like, okay, I saw how they were passing, and I put on my shoes and socks, and then the first goal went in. I said, time to do yard work, because I can't watch this. I did come back and say I saw that it was actually 3-0. I was like, this is not good. What are your thoughts, DJ, on the thing that happened?
Don't panic. There's no reason to panic. That was you said you could tell 5 minutes into the game. I could tell 50 minutes before the game when I saw the starting lineup. Just depleted. It's the dog days of summer right now. You're not gonna get your best out there. You got guys playing out of position. I'll start with the defense because we lost 3-0. Nick Haglund, I love you, buddy, but you're not a true center back. He can't lead that line the way that we expected. Obviously missing Yerson back there was huge, and Miazga. That it just didn't seem like there was a lot of productivity coming from the back. A lot of confusion. I don't think midfield played terrible. Obi always plays pretty decent. Not a lot of creativity. Angulo was there. He was in and out. I saw some flashes of greatness from him, and then some flashes of badness for him. But my biggest takeaway is it's away at DC United, missing 4, 5, 6 players, 4, I think, to international, middle of the season. You can't be perfect all the time. You're going to slip a little bit. That's okay. It's no reason to panic. It was a bad game. We'll pocket it. We'll move on to the next one.
I agree. When you're not only missing starters, right? And if we're missing starters here, but we're missing starters on all 3 levels, right? Our back line, our midfield, and our scoring, our strikers, right? But it was really not only that, but the spine, right? We're missing both starting center backs. We're missing Miazga and Yerson. Either one of those probably could have settled the ship down a little bit. Murphy looked lost out there. That second yellow card to a red. Nobody if you arguing that isn't a yellow, then you don't know soccer. because that was a clearly, I don't care anymore. I'm just going to stick my foot out. He just kind of looked at the ref and said, "Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
I
Yeah.
got nothing." So it looked bad out there, but you could tell. Here's the difference between, because they played us very tough the last season, right? The last game we needed to win it. We scored a bunch of goals. They scored a few goals too, um, but uh, we had Brenner and we had Vasquez. They can't play that high line with Brenner and Vasquez. We will rip them apart.
Yeah.
But they were not afraid of Bocce. They're certainly not afraid of Lucho out on the wing, right? So Lucho had to come back a little bit. This was shades of 2021. Lucho had the ball and trying to make a pass. It was predictable. It was slow. They were sluggish. It happens, and you're right. It is the middle of the season. I think we trotted out that lineup against a really poor Toronto at home, and had a boost. You can't put that line out on the road and not have fire in your belly. They didn't look like they wanted to be there.
Yeah, the thing about that's interesting. I think Toronto looked worse than they probably normally do. I think in that particular game, Toronto kind of lost it for themselves. I don't think that we necessarily fully outplayed them. I mean, we did what it takes to get the win there. DC came in a different way. They were like, "You're at our house. You're at the top of the board. We're coming for blood," and they did, and they took advantage of it. And they clearly showed the gaps in our squad when we're short that bad or when we're out of position that bad. So yeah.
I think it's going to be a different scene come early August. We got to just get through July. So I'm not going to talk any more about Saturday's game. And how about this? We're talking about last Saturday's game and not last Wednesday's game, because not only that, they had a week of rest, and we only had 3 days of rest with a short squad already. Uh, we've got Mascara back. That's going to be helpful. We lost Murphy, so that's not going to be helpful. So I don't know who our three center backs are. We're going to have to put Powell or Gaddis in there. We should have hopefully Sergio Santos available. I haven't seen that one this week. It's really difficult not having somebody up front that scares you, because the defense will just play high and compact and say, go ahead and go wide.
Yeah, I think you're dead on with Gaddis on that one. I think, you know, I've been vocally a Gaddis not supporter for some time, but this year I've seen a lot of heart and hustle from Gaddis, and I think that you're right. I think I see Gaddis, Mascara, Hagelin back in the three. I think Hagelin coming back off he was a little beat up. He got his wheels back under him a little bit in the second half. I don't think he played terrible in the second half against DC, but I think him, Mascara, and Gaddis can probably hold it down better than what we just saw with Powell and Murphy. And I don't really want to talk about Murphy because I'm still mad at him right now. But I think that there's probably more upside to that three center back with that three lineup. I think you nailed it with Gaddis. And then hopefully we see Santos, because I don't feel like anyone in the league really fears Baji. I think that they can handle Baji if Vasquez isn't there to pull weight. I think they don't mind Baji, but Santos is a kind of a different animal. If we can get him up there and get him confident, get him going, he's scary good. He's scary fast. He's scary good. So listen, like I said though, dog days of summer, you're rolling out squads that you're kind of testing the waters on a lot of stuff here. There's no real set 11 that you're used to rolling out here. We got a lot of mix and match play going on. Can they perform and can they do good enough to get us a couple of points in there? Yeah. Are they going to drop some? Yeah. But like you said, make it through July, long break going into early August. Get in get in a groove now, then take some rest, come back, full squad. We got a big enough lead in the top. It's not a it's not a huge deal, I don't think, to struggle right now, because I think most teams are struggling right now.
I think that's very true. And I think, that's something that we're not used to, which is weird, because that's usually for the last 3 years, it's what we've only been used to. And now we've gotten almost half a season, and people jokingly were going, all right, they've lost. I'm out. Check, please.
That's
That's it. Like, I know it was a joke, but but it's so weird. That's how good we are, is that we lose once and people are like, wait, they can do that? I didn't think they could do that. I thought the worst they would do is a draw. It's like, yeah, we've had a couple of skin of our teeth draws, particularly early in the
Yeah.
season, and we've just gotten fat and sassy. I don't know if we were going to get 80 points given the schedule and losing Brenner and whatnot, but
Yeah. Well, I
uh,
mean, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Even Noonan said it's only going to get tougher, right? It's not going to get easier. And you hit the nail on the head there when you're saying that people are confused about what just happened with what, these last, this little skid, if you want to call it a little skid, what we may have. I think people have a real short-term memory when it comes to how many wooden spoons. We were filling up kitchens with wooden spoons. We know what it's like to be in the bad spot, in the dog days. And this team has made it historic beginning of the season. One of the best starts to a season in history, especially the best start at home in history. You can count the losses on your hand if you were missing three fingers. Let's not forget where we came from, where we are now. We should be appreciative and don't get too emotional too fast on dropping a couple or drawing a couple, because this is a long season. It's a hard sport. Players are coming in and out. There's international breaks. There's cup games going on where you're playing multiple games in a week. This is tough. It's hard. It's hard for anybody. Hitting 80 points or something like that. I mean, this is just, it's nonsense talk to me. I think it's just keep riding the good things that we're doing and don't freak out about the bad right now, because it's a lot of soccer left. We're not even at the All-Star break.
Just so people should know, is that the projected playoff line is 43 points. We're at the playoff line already.
Isn't
So,
that
but we have a losing streak of one game, because remember what happened before the losing streak? Oh, right, we won at home for what was that, the 11th time, or no, 10th time? So the 11th
yeah.
time. So we have a big game on Saturday. But before we get to the big game on Saturday, as we all know, where we've got Aaron Padenza, Boo. I don't know if we're gonna have to call him Boo, or I don't know, Pooh
I
Bear,
think
Boo
we're all
Bear.
trying to
I don't
figure
know.
that one out. Yeah.
I think we need a nickname
Pinza?
that's great for him.
Yeah.
Remember, just like it was with Brenner, I'd had to tell this to people with Brenner. It's like he was 21 years old. He came from a new country, new stuff, right? It takes about half a year. Remember, Barrial looked like Anguilla. Would be like one play he was amazing, and the next play you're like, why is he so lost? He just looked amazing, and then he got lost, but
Yeah.
settled in some time, some seasoning. He doesn't need as much time, but I don't expect him to be, mid-season, knows the chemistry of this team and knows what to do until probably mid or late August, when we really need him. So be patient with him. Hopefully we got to see a backflip out of him, but I'm very excited. This is a game changer for this, because that takes the pressure off of Vasquez. It takes the pressure off of Santos. It takes the pressure off of Badgie. It takes the pressure off of Lucho. So he doesn't have to score every game for us to win. He can do what Lucho does without worrying about everybody else.
It's spot on reference between the Barrial of us versus Angulo conversation, because there's a lot of negativity flowing Angulo's way, because he shows flashes, but it looks like he has low floor. But he has a high ceiling. It's kind of weird. When we saw that with Barrial, and Barrial stepped up, and Barrial was obviously now incredible. I think that you're kind of the same way on Bopenza, because he's going to take some time. It's a different league. MLS is a different league from any other league in the world. I don't care if the guy was the leader in the Super League or the Turkish League or whatever a couple years ago. That doesn't matter. The MLS is different. It doesn't play the same. He's going to have to get acclimated. He's going to have to settle in. The good thing about him is that he's going to have time to settle in with other good players around him. He's not going to have a million pounds of weight on his shoulders coming in and expected to score 12 goals to knock out the end of the season. I
He's
really
not going
want
to be
him.
Locadia?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, let's bring that guy up. No, we don't need that a lot of pressure on him, right? Anything. He can sort of play a fill-in role. Listen, the kid's incredibly creative. You can give him the ball 35 yards outside the goal and he can make it on his own. We don't really have that elsewhere. Vasquez, Badji, Santos, a lot of extent, they want to play 1-2 touches in at the goal. They want to play with their backs to the goal. Bopenza is not that guy. Bopenza is a Costa at forward. He can create. He can be magical on his own. He needs to get comfortable. He doesn't need to do it immediately. We can give him a few weeks. He's gonna have other players around him that can carry. Barrial looks great. Angulo's getting there. Arias looks good. I mean, Arias looks dangerous coming up. There's a, Vasquez coming back is gonna be hungry. I think that you're dead on. Give him some time. That August window of him like really starting to get like in the motions is gonna play into the playoffs. That's where we need the guy.
This is what I want fans, and don't take, I'm not, the coach of anything, but I can tell you from watching and playing at whatever level you play at, what you need. All you need to look at for this guy is, when he's going to take on a defender, and he's going to beat a defender, and then maybe takes a stupid shot, or maybe he misses a pass. But if he breaks down that defender, suddenly the league can't play high and tight, right? I'm not. I leave the tactics to Cincinnati Soccer Talk and whatnot. But if they can't pack it in and play really high, this guy gets the ball and just breaks them down and can shoot from outside 18. That's a whole level of complexity that nobody is used to for this team, right? That's means we can shoot outside, we can shoot inside. So Santos could run, and Vasquez could do his hold up play. It's just going to be it's really going to be special, but it's going to take some time.
It will take time, and I think that you're right on the forward defensive stance that a lot of teams in the MLS will take, especially against us. They're going to try to like play high, where they're wanting to push us out of being able to make those runs, or be able to. They want to close out Obi, or they want to close out Kubo or Lucho from making some type of pass. Well, that's not really going to be an option anymore for them, because you're going to have the defensive split on every team that you play. One or two guys on one side are going to have to look at Vasquez. They're going to have to, because we know he's dangerous if the ball comes in from one of the wings. But then you add this element that is a nuke of a guy in the other side of Vasquez that can absolutely beat one or two of those dudes that aren't paying attention, that are looking more towards Vasquez. He can beat those guys and make it on his own. It's going to give Lucho multiple more options. It's going to give Kubo more options. It's going to give those defenses are going to have to sit back. And what do we want as FC Cincinnati? I want Barrial ripping from 20. I want Acosta hitting curveballs from knuckleballs from 25 out. Just keeping a defense back and playing trash and letting those guys clean that stuff up. And that's going to be what I think the core is going to end up being with Bupinza joining in.
It's going to be the shot that we actually need. I think I really did like Brenner. I know some people were high, some people were low, particularly early on. A lot of people low, but the things that he could do were great. He didn't play defense, right? That's a Brazilian striker. They don't play defense. Brazilian strikers just don't play defense. But he's got creativity, and he's a poacher, and he's kind of the perfect addition. This guy is faster, pretty much better on the ball.
Better on the ball.
Got a shot. Both. I know it's the Turkish league, but he can shoot with both feet. And I don't care what league you're in. If you shoot him like that, you get space. If you can make yourself some space and shoot shots like that, we're going to see some backflips, and I'm going to be very happy about that.
And I think that you're definitely, I think people are definitely thinking too high on the MLS if they're considering us much better than the Turkish top league. I mean, the MLS is not leagues above the Turkish top league. We're probably a little bit better, but I don't think he's going to show up here, or even when he's playing in the Middle East, I don't think he's going to show up here and find some competition he's never seen before. I mean, he's going to see players of the same caliber he's been playing. And like you said, he's going to fill into that role, and he's going to get comfortable, and he's going to be fine. And like you said with Brenner, the Brenner situation is, I think it's tough for everybody, but let's call it like it is. I mean, SC Cincinnati is going to become a farm league for Europe if we keep doing things that we're doing. When Brenner's putting in 17, 18 goals in the MLS, yeah, he's going to get called by Bundesliga or La Liga or Serie A or something. Same with Vasquez. Same with most of these younger, talented strikers. They're going to go. I think we're lucky to get this guy at his age to come here and play with us, even if it's for a couple of years and he moves on. Probably going to get a lot of productivity out of him, just like we saw with Brenner last year. He got comfortable, scored a bunch of goals. We got some money back on him. See you later, bud. We got to move on.
I think this leads into a a a thing that we do on our show is things we know but we don't care about. It was on Twitter this week, some story about Brandon Vasquez being unhappy because he didn't get sold to some middle low tier Bundesliga team. We all know he signed a contract. He knows he's here for the year. We all know he's here for the year. He signed for the year. I'm telling you, before the season started, they're like, all you have to do is play well. We are going to sell you at the end of this year, but we can't sell you because we're selling Brenner at the middle of the year. We know this. Everybody knows this. This story is something I know, but I just don't care.
Yeah, this is one of those where I made a tweet that was a little spicy on this one, and I'll go ahead and say it on here, and I don't care if I get flamed for it. I don't care what Mönchengladbach wants, and I don't care what Brandon Vasquez wants to a certain extent. You sign a contract. I want you to be happy, and I want you to succeed in your career, but we're not going to nuke our season just to make you happy now. Mönchengladbach had the opportunity to create this deal where they could buy him now and loan him back to us immediately, and we keep him for the rest of the season. I think FC Cincinnati would have been open to that because we know he's gone at the end of the season anyway. But we're not going to nuke our season so you can get him early. It's not going to happen. And I think Brandon knows that. FC Cincinnati knows that. And I think Mönchengladbach knows that too. They just didn't want to fork the cash without getting him now. To me, it's a story that I don't care about. I think it's clickbait. I think they want to get people riled up because soccer Twitter is toxic. I'm on there too. I know it's toxic, but soccer Twitter spreads that around. Half the people are blaming FCC, half of them are blaming Brandon, another portion are blaming Bundesliga and Mönchengladbach. It does not matter to me. I don't care about the TAM money. I don't care about signing a replacement. He's not a DP. He stays here this year. Sorry, Brandon. It is what it is, man. You're under contract. Please help us try to get some hardware.
That's what we're here for, right? That's why
Yeah,
we
we're
are here
here for hardware. And
right?
he should be here for hardware too. I know he wants money and I know he wants to play in Europe, but 6 months is not going to change that. He's going to Europe anyway.
What
Whether
would the
it's
national media
Mönchengladbach
say
or
if we went out 40,
Wolverhampton.
we get 40 points the first half of the season and get like 8 points the second half of the season? Oh, what an epic collapse. Why did they sell Vasquez? They had a glorious season. Right. So you can't win. So don't
It's a
worry about what
lose-lose.
media says. Brandon knew what was going on, and before the season started, I guarantee you that front office was straight up. I'm not here to make anything. So that's our segment is I know, but I don't care. So let's
I
go to
know, but
our
I don't
other
care.
let's go to our other favorite topic, which is bad takes. We do nothing but bad takes because I am not a pundit. I'm a happy fan. And that's why we have happy fans here. And we'll be talking with DJ and how he became a happy fan in just a moment. But my bad take is I think we're going to keep the streak alive. I think we're going to beat New England. I know that everybody seems to be within 10 points, and suddenly they think they have the league by the tail. Nashville was talking a lot of trash, and then they lost 2 in a row. I haven't heard them say anything since, but I'm sure they would say something if they saw me. I think they're going to win. I think they're going to extend the streak. They play so well at home. I think we, the fans, give them that extra boost. They've had a week of rest. I think they're mental, and I don't. This team wants to bounce back from that bad loss. What's your bad take?
Oh man. I don't really think what you just said is a bad take. I think coming into TQL, I don't care who you are, it's going to be hard for you to win. Um, Even if we're depleted and we get some people back, I think that we've got a chance to get New England regardless. But if I were going to take a really bad take, and I'm going to, I'll take the flame for this if I get hit with it. I think we fall out of first, somewhere in that this nearing July, August. Then you got a big break, and then late August, early September. I think that we probably see some more struggles than we've seen in the past. And I think we fall out of maybe first, second. I think we stay right in there. And I think that we gain some traction and come back to it at the end of the year. But I think we're going to have some bad away games coming up that are going to be pretty tough. Columbus away is going to be really rough. At Nashville at home is going to be really rough. And then you get the break and then coming back. But like I was saying before, I don't think it means to panic. I mean, We can come back and we can retake it. If I were to have the worst take I could possibly take, it's that we don't hold first through the rest of the season. We get it back later, but we lose it for a little bit.
That is a bad take.
It's a really
I
bad
will agree
take,
with
but
you. That's probably the best bad take we've had
you
on
asked me
this
for a
show
bad
this
take.
season. I
That's
think
the worst.
you may have won the
That's the
bad
worst
take
one I can come up. I
sweepstakes.
thought about it in my head. What's the worst possible
I'm
scenario?
not
That's it.
blaming anybody. Everybody
Yeah.
has their own opinion. I'm not gonna say mine's any better than yours. You're probably, I mean, if you're right, then you're like, see what?
See,
Not a bad take.
if I'm right,
Actually,
people be
not a
like,
bad take. You're a bad
yeah,
take. That's what you're
that
gonna
they'll
say.
say that guy on the podcast, he was right. He told us. But then if I'm wrong, they can flame me. I'd much rather be wrong than right on that call. So that's the point of a bad take, right?
I
I'd
think
much
having
rather be wrong.
Mascara is the difference for this game. I'm not going
It
to even
is.
give you a score line
Yeah.
because it could be 2-1, it could be
1-0.
1-0. I
Yeah.
think the guys are going to get a week's rest so that they look mentally exhausted. I think with a week's rest and losing the way that they did, I think the coaching staff loves a loss like this. Nobody likes to lose, including the coaching staff. But this is a good wake up call. Say
Mhm.
you guys are not good enough to sleepwalk through a match, particularly an
Yeah.
away match against a team that plays us tough every year.
Yeah. And you can't let people get complacent with players like this. You can't get complacent. I mean, even with baseball teams that go 7, 8, 9, 10 straight games, look, you're going to lose one. You're going to. It's how you recover from that loss is what judges your season. So you're going to take a couple of bumps here and there. There, as far as I know, there's been no team in the history of the MLS that's only lost 2 games in the entirety of the season. Um, yeah, you're going to take bumps, but like you said, the coaching staff, I think that they're like, humble yourself, get ready for the next one. How do you come back? Where's your character? Let's go and let's play and let's try to get back on track. And I think the players will respond to that. I think that Noonan has shown us that, he can rally him to get back in that spot, even after bad losses. I don't, the team that will remain unsaid that beat us pretty bad earlier this year didn't really make a difference. I mean, yeah, we took a hard loss, but came back and won 7 straight or something like that, 8 straight. So
I agree. So we've had so much fun just chatting. I really want to get into DJ. So DJ, how did you become a fan of FC Cincinnati? That's part of what this podcast is all about. Talking about fans and their perspective. How did you get involved with FC Cincinnati and becoming a fixture in the Bailey, if I'm not mistaken?
you can find me there. Yeah. You can find me with the Knights, banging on some drums and stuff like that, games. And yeah, I'll be over there. Now, the way that I came about it is I think it's a long story, and I'll try to keep it as short as I possibly can. I grew up playing soccer. I was 4 years old, started playing soccer. My dad wanted me to play baseball and basketball. I was way too fidgety as a kid to play baseball. I was the kid in the outfield, like making sandcastles and picking grass because it was too boring for me. And then I found soccer, and it became like such a passion sport for me because to me, it was fast. It was constant movement. There was ability um, to be a hero in some places and to be a role player in some places. And I felt part of a real team for a long time with soccer. I played soccer all the way through high school, had a little bit of um, interest going into college. I chose a different sport to go to college, which is a whole different story. But the point is, I grew up in a place where there was no professional sports teams. I grew up in central southeastern Kentucky, and everybody just picks a favorite sports team from there. But nobody picks soccer. There's no soccer at the time when I'm 34. There was when I was 10, there was no soccer going on. It was just one game on TV on Sunday afternoon or something that you could watch. But I was always obsessed with the sport, and I watched a lot of soccer. When I moved to Cincinnati about a decade ago, it was right around the time there was a rumor of FC Cincinnati coming to fruition. There was a rumor of Cincinnati getting a um, professional soccer team. And when I heard the rumor, I went completely like full nutso mode, jumped into it entirely. Like in 15, I was at the meetings, holding up scarves that we had barely even made yet, and, going to these press conferences and stuff and getting into Cincinnati. I was immediately obsessed. And then first couple games at Nippert, I just was immediately enthralled with, like, sucked into it entirely. I knew soccer was always my favorite sport, and this atmosphere made it even more relevant to me. So I took a year or so, got some season tickets. I found myself in the Bailey. Once you're in the Bailey, it's a slippery slope. It's just downhill for a lot of people. You just become enthralled with FC Cincinnati and everything it had to do, the family environment of the supporters groups. And, we took those season tickets in the Bailey, and I think in 17, maybe 18, somewhere around in there, it just became completely engulfed with it. Me and my girlfriend Kim, who you can find behind me. Shouts out to Kim. She's awesome. Leading chants and helping out with us. Behind me playing drums. We got into it, and it just really never looked back. And it was never a question to get Bailey at TQL. It was never a question for me to join the Knights. It made sense. I played drums my whole life, so when the opportunity came about for me to apply and get involved in it, I mean, I didn't even think twice about it. And then I went full head over heels in love with the team, and now it's become an enormous part of my life. I love this team more than almost anything. So it
Yeah, for
was
me.
fast, but yeah, it seems like it's 9 years ago. I didn't even think that a soccer team around me would exist, but here I am in the Bailey every day, sweating and dehydrating and being tired and banging on cowbells and having the greatest time of my life with some of my best friends every week through the summer. It's something different. There's something. Cincinnati's different. The soccer team here is different. I've been to other places. I've been to away games. The culture here, the Bailey, the supporters groups. It's more than just people for a soccer team. It's people that care about each other. It's family. It's you go to war with these people, and it's go to warman with these people. See what I did there?
I see
You know,
what you did
it
there.
makes it even more important. It makes it part of your life.
I agree. That is very much the structure. I'm very happy, and it's been a wonderful time. I think we're running a little bit of short on time. This might just end. I'm just letting you know because we're having such a good time. DJ, thank you
It's
so
okay.
much for joining me. I hope you had a good time because
I did. Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I think our listeners are really going to enjoy uh, all the bad takes that you gave for us. That's amazing. Happy 4th of July, everybody.
You as well. Yeah.
It's going to be
Everybody. Yeah.
rainy. There's going to be, I don't know, 150 million people downtown. Where apparently the whole planet is coming to see some singer, and then there's baseball, and then there's us, and we're sold out too. So wear raincoats, wear lightning coats, whatever it is you need to do. But we're going to have a good time regardless of when it kicks because it's going to happen. So, DJ, thank you so much. And thank you so much for listening to FCC Supporter Square. If you want to be where DJ is, give us a ring at fcc.supp.square@gmail.com. I know it's a mouthful, but that's all I could do. So for DJ, I'm Matt. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Go Gary's, baby. Let's go.
Thank you for listening to FCC Supporter Square. Your hosts are Mark Shupin and Matt Warner. If you'd like to be a guest, please contact us at fcc.supp.square@gmail.com. The intro song was Living Inside My Brain by the Stone Buttons. The exit song was Awesome Sauce, also by the Stone Buttons. Thank you for listening.